This is the Tilta Hydra Alien car mount. I'm going to assemble it today. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to show you some example footage, and then I'm going to give you my honest thoughts on if you should buy this for your business or leisure, or if you should stick with hanging out the back of a car. If you're someone that's been in car or automotive cinematography as long as I have, about 10 years now, there wasn't really anything affordable for car mounted gear back in the day. It wasn't until 2021 that Tilta released the Hydra Alien car mounting system. From 2016, when I started filming cars, until 2021, there was not much that was really affordable. You had to build something with speed rails and get a black arm, and at that point you're $3,000 or $4,000 into it, and then you have to buy a camera for that too. When Tilta dropped this lightweight, affordable option for car mounting, it kind of broke the internet. Now, at the beginning, a lot of people were saying that it wasn't that great, you can't go very fast with it because of the lightweight packages, and when Tilta heard that, they made some adjustments. They built a new isolation head that would work with lighter weight packages. So at this point in time, is the Tilta Hydra Alien actually worth it in 2025? Or are you better just hanging out the back of a car? Today, we're gonna find that out. We're gonna do this video in 3 different sections. Number 1, I'm gonna build the entire Hydra arm mount, and I'm gonna talk you through that process. Number 2, we're gonna go out and film some rollers. And then number 3, we're gonna talk about the actual footage itself. When we pull it into post-production, is it easy to work with? Does it look good? Before we officially get started, I wanna let you know that this video is not sponsored by anyone. Tilta did not send me this. I paid full price. Well, I actually paid half price because it was from a friend off Facebook Marketplace. Thank you very much, sir. But this is not sponsored by anyone. These are honest thoughts in this review. Without further ado, let's open this up and get building. So right off of the bat, something that I really like is that Tilta sends this awesome hard case with the product. You do not have to pay extra for this. That was a genius idea by Tilta. Not sure if it's Pelican or Nanook or a different brand like that, but they did the branding on it. It looks really nice. Clips are really great. No complaints here. When we open it up, we can see all of our parts laid out here nicely. This is super convenient because most camera rigging products come in multiple cases that take 30 to 45 minutes and at least 2 guys to set up. This is one case. It weighs about 50 pounds and 1 guy can set it up on set. It does technically take 2 people to operate unless you're using a Raven Eye active track, but I wouldn't trust that if you're doing a shoot for a client. That could just be something for leisure. So starting at the bottom, we have our adjustable arms. Up top, we have your suction cups. There's 2 small and 1 big one. To the right of that, we have the isolation arm. To the left, there's some parts and accessories here. This is the isolation head with the 2 V-mount battery plates. And then we have some weights in the center to balance out the head. A couple things I want to note. Since we are in 2025, Tilta has released electronic suction cup mounts. So these ones are going to be the old version with the pump. Now Tilta has created one where you just press a button and it suction cups down without any effort. Those are nice. I haven't had any problems with these. They're tried and true. I have heard stories that they've fallen off before, but that's why Tilta sends you a safety strap too. What I typically like to do first is grab the small bar. It's the only short one in there, and start with this piece. How I use this is I run these 2 small suction cups, one on either end of it, and this is gonna be my back support. So what I'll do is I'll take my suction cups off. I've already wiped down the surface. Very important, if you have any dust under there, this could potentially slip off, so make sure you have a clean surface. Put your suction cups down, unscrew your wing nuts. If you are using the old school ones with the plunger, make sure that plunger is facing outwards for ease of use. How I like to do this is I like to put one side of the bar on, rest the other side on there, and you're going to be looking for this piece next, which is one of these single wing nuts with a bracket that's able to slide on that frame. Go ahead and take this, hold down your locking pin, slide it over, and adjust as necessary. Then you can take this other side put it on your suction cup, and put your locking nut on. Now, I don't like to suction it down yet because there's usually some adjusting that needs to happen, but we can go ahead and take this wing nut off next, and you can just hold on to that. Then grab your big suction. Again, make sure your front of your car surface is clean. Go ahead and set that down and unscrew your wing nut. Next, grab your 3 rail pieces. I've already got mine sort of assembled. I'm gonna unfold this one this way. Open this one up. And this piece is gonna go on top of these 2 open wing nut holes. There's one. And there's 2. Now we can attach these wing nuts. So we're gonna go ahead and connect these 2 rail pieces together. Bring this to where you want it. And you can adjust that to 90 degrees. Once you have your 90, go ahead and spin this wing nut in place. Then you can go ahead and get this back wing nut tight and this front one. Now with all wing nuts tight, we have our proper angle. We're gonna go ahead and suction this down to the car. I like to start with the front one, apply a little pressure on top, and start pumping. You'll know it's done when the white goes away. Same thing on the back ones. Make sure everything's tight and your mount is on. Time for the fun stuff. Now we get to attach the actual arm. For this, we want the Tilta logo facing up. So we're gonna unscrew this bottom wing nut, and you can choose which hole you want to put it in. Any of these are available. If you have it down here, the camera will hang somewhere around here. And if we have it up on the highest, the camera will hang somewhere around here. I like to go somewhere in the middle or low end for the nice low angle shots. Then we can attach that locking nut on the back. Next, we're gonna go ahead and take the locking nut off the front, and we're gonna go ahead and grab our isolation head with the V-mount attachments. Then you take your locking nut and attach that. We're getting very close. Next up, we have the Tilta base expander plate. What this does is gonna connect the Ronin to the bottom of our isolation mount and have power that can run to this V-mount plate. So we're gonna slip this in. I like to have the power cable facing backwards. Once all of this is assembled and you made it this far, I want you to take an Allen wrench and tighten every single one of these red locking nuts. Bring your gimbal over and set it underneath the mount we just put up. What you're gonna do is slip the gimbal off of the ring or your normal tripod stand. You're gonna flip the gimbal upside down and connect it to your mount. Make sure you lock this tight. And then you're gonna flip your camera into underslung mode. Now your camera's attached. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. Now this is the most important part of this entire video. This is the locking plate that locks your gimbal and camera to the rest of the mount. If you do not use this, you risk the standard locking system wiggling loose and dropping your camera off, and we do not want that. And just like that, you've saved your camera gear for the most part. Your suction cups could still fail, but this is a very important part that I'm glad Tilta added. Now we're missing 2 very important pieces of this build still, a V-mount battery, as well as our power cord running from V-mount to power the gimbal. Our flavor of choice for V-mount batteries is Core SWX flat skinny boys. There's the chunky 150s, I believe these are the 90s. These things are great. It's got 3 hours and 24 minutes of runtime. I think it goes up once I plug it in, but we got this. We're gonna add that onto our setup. And from here, we've got around my neck the cord that will power our gimbal. So we're gonna plug that in on top of our V-mount plate. And what I like to do is wrap it around the back side of the V-mount plate because it's a very long cord until there's no slack, and then plug it into the back of the gimbal. And just like that, we have power. So let's go ahead and unlock our gimbal and power on. Once you've powered your gimbal on, now we can turn the camera on. The reason we turn the camera on second is because we have this control wire going to the gimbal, which will allow us to press record from the inside of the vehicle. As you can see, the camera is facing underslung in the proper form. So we're gonna go ahead and triple click to have it face the front. So now we've got our camera on, we have our gimbal on. There's two more important things we need to turn on and add. On the bottom of the gimbal, I have the Raven Eye HDMI transmitter. So I have that running from the bottom into the camera, and that's how we're gonna see wirelessly in the car. So let's make sure we turn that on. Lastly, one very important piece. This is gonna be the Tilta Hydra arm control module that we need to plug into the gimbal so we can use our joystick in the car. Let's go ahead and attach this onto the right side of our gimbal. Now we have our controller. Now this mostly comes with your kit. This frame and this handle and this phone mount do, but I added the V-mount plate holder as well as the Tilta Nucleus Nano. From left to right, this handle controls the gimbal. We have our record button on and off, and we have our gimbal sensitivity roller on the left. On the back side, we have our V-mount battery, which is running power to our handle. And on the far right, we have our Nucleus Nano, which I have controlling zoom on the camera. The last thing that we'll install here is going to be my cell phone. We'll put my phone in here and wirelessly transmit what the camera is seeing. Now that we have this whole setup together, I think it's time to go out and give it some test shots. I'll talk through while I'm filming with it and give you guys some live input about how I'm feeling about it. We're out, we're filming AJ for his Why We Ride episode. We got the Hydra arm. I have my beautiful fiance driving. Thank you, dear. We're gonna start recording, and I'm just gonna give you a little play-by-play of what I think here. We're gonna let AJ feel out the stretch of road here a little bit. Give him the thumbs up, let him know we're good. Yes, that's a good spot, babe. Yep, yep. Even closer if you can. He's gonna drag his hand here in a second, I think. Yes, this is perfect. Yes, yes! Nice, babe. Oh, this is so sick. Yep, yep. 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 Nice distance. Yes. Nice. Yes. All right, we are back in the editing suite here. We're gonna take a look at some of the footage that we shot. This is actually from a different day, but also for the Why We Ride 2 episode. So let's get into some of this here. So right off of the bat, it was a little bit less windy this day, which is great. You can see this footage already looks super clean. I was having some fun playing around with the sensitivity on the joystick. And when you make it a lot less sensitive, the shot seems to be much smoother. So you can see I'm trying to track him here, doing a pretty decent job. I think this was take 3 or 4, but still a little bit of distance away. I have my 28 to 70 on here, so you'll see me zoom in a second. There it is. That was me using that nucleus. And now we got really close. We have the shot framed up nicely. There's more tracking there. It looks really solid. Overall, the system is pretty easy to use. I would relate it to playing a video game, just trying to keep something in the shot. Or like, if you're an FPV pilot, you know how to use your controls to track a subject in frame. So we wrap that shot up here. Let's go to the next one. This is one of my favorites. This was super easy. We're going like 10 miles per hour on the front of the car now. Behind him doing a rolling burnout. This shot looks super smooth, really easy to track him. With the upgraded isolation plate, you can see that there's little to no vibration, which is awesome. I don't have any footage of it with the old isolation plate that I came with, but you'll have to take my word for it. It's very smooth, and I have no complaints. That wraps up our Tilta Hydra video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions about this piece of equipment, comment down below. I'll try to answer them as they come in. But for now, if you haven't seen the full episode of Why We Ride 2, go take a look at that, and we will see you in the next one.